What's up, everybody? I'm Kristin Gutierrez, and I am so excited to be here today with my friend Val Mulan. Did I
Yes,
get it right?
with the American accent. Yep, perfect.
All right, Val, tell us who you are. I know a lot of us have seen you around. Maybe you've been to some of our master classes and heard you, but tell us in your own words who you are and how you got started.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's always so great to be with you. So my name is Val Moulin, and I am a mindset and manifestation coach or performance coach. I've also been in the health and fitness industry for 10 years, and my passion is really to help entrepreneurs take their business and themselves to the next level. And that
Mm.
came out of my own needs. When I started my own business a few years ago, I just had to grind so hard to move 1 inch. And I just felt like I was stuck on a rat wheel, rat race in a rat race or on a hamster wheel. And burnout was always one step away from me, always knocking on my door. And not only that, but I never got the results that I wanted. And now that I've been working as a coach of entrepreneurs, I see that it was not unique to me, right? A lot of entrepreneurs are faced with the same dilemma of, I want to grow my business or I want to start my business, and you just get into the hustle. Don't lift your head up until it's too late, and then you're already burnt out, and you just don't get moving. The other issue I notice is a lot of people procrastinate or are stuck in delay, right? Or in perfectionism, or in imposter syndrome. I mean, all the good stuff that we all face. And so I wanted to come up with a solution to help entrepreneurs stop and end the suffering, right? So that they can really blossom in their business and serve at the highest level and have the impact and income they deserve, and serve people that they're called to serve. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and my dad, my brother, his wife, they all had businesses back in Europe, and they all had to shut down either because their health was too impacted negatively, or they just could never get to the results that they wanted in their business. And that kept me thinking, that's fewer people that they can serve. It's the clients at the end of the day that are missing out, and then we can't change the world. So so uh, you know and and that's how I met you, through that lens as well, is that you and I were on a mission to help as many entrepreneurs step into their greatness, right? Work and perform higher so that they can serve more people, because you and I, we've been attracting heart-centered entrepreneurs, and if they can't fulfill on their mission and vision in their business, then what's the point, right? Then they don't get to serve the people they're called to serve, and everybody's missing out. So I'm excited to be on this call today with you, because we're going to introduce some fire sauce stuff that's really going to be a driving force for a lot of entrepreneurs out there.
I love it. I love your backstory. And I love that our worlds connected and collided. And here we are a couple months later already. And I love that we're attracting these heart-centered entrepreneurs, as you called them. So thank you all for being here. What have you had to overcome in order to step into your greatness?
Yeah, so it's a whole bunch of stuff, actually, a lot of stuff. And I think that's why I became so passionate about the studies that I pursued as a life mastery consultant and as a health professional, health and fitness. I am the healthiest I've ever been. I have a thriving business. I am a CrossFit athlete. I'm all of these things now. But 12 years ago, I was the exact opposite. I was working in the corporate world. My health was horrible. I had a chronic disease. I was depressed and stressed out all the time. And I just couldn't see the end of the tunnel. And it's not until I started to move my body, because I had been sedentary for 25 years, no exercise. I hated gyms. I didn't want to exercise at all. I was just poor me. And when I started moving my body again with yoga, things started to shift inside of me, and I thought, wow, this is really good. So then, of course, you know how it is, you discover something for yourself, you want to share it with everybody else. So I became certified in yoga therapy, not the woo woo, you know, pretzel yoga, but really highly transformational yoga. And then from there I shifted to personal training, because after a while I started lifting weights. That also transformed my life. Breath work through yoga also created a lot of changes. But that was still not quite enough. I still noticed a lot of things that were holding me back from an emotional and mental standpoint. So my body was doing a lot better. And of course, it created mental strength, but there was a key element missing for me. And then the other thing is that I had started a business of my own by that time, and I was stuck in many, many ways. And that's when I came across life coaching and manifestation principles. And I fell in love with that and became certified after 18 months of rigorous training in that field, only to understand that in the health and fitness industry, I was primarily focusing on my physical health. But I was missing the fact that we are multidimensional beings. We're not just a body, we're not just a mind, we're right. We have a body, a mind, and soul, and they're all intertwined. Mm-hmm. And so I'm super happy with all the certifications and training I've received now, because I know I have everything we need to transform ourselves from the inside out on mm-hmm. multiple levels. And that's what's going to take us to the next level in our business. And that's why I love what you're doing, because you're a ninja at business and sales and strategy. And so when you and I come together, we're this force where anything that a business person could need gets through us.
So good. Yes, you compliment me so much in everything that I don't want to say lack, but that I can improve upon. I even feel so proud when I tell you, oh my gosh, I went to the gym 5 days this week, right? And I do appreciate hearing your backstory, because I didn't realize you had also been sedentary for 25 years. I think that's really important for people to continuously hear, because otherwise, just like any success in life, financial, health, mental, it's like, oh, we come into somebody's third, fourth, fifth chapter, and we don't realize that their chapter 1 and 2 and 3 was really hard.
Yeah.
The vulnerability.
Yeah, totally. You're right. Because I have so many people that come to me and say, Val, it's easy for you. You've always been fit. Mm-hmm. No, you're just seeing me after years and years of struggle, of hard work, of dedication, devotion to a vision of me that I had, where I didn't want to be the stuck person anymore. I didn't want to be the sickly person anymore. I knew there was something else inside of me that needed to emerge, and I found the tools to bring that out. But the person you see today, 12 years ago, if someone would have come to me and say, Val, one day you'll be a CrossFitter, and one day you'll be helping other entrepreneurs, step into their greatness, become this higher version of themselves, I would have laughed so hard, rolling myself on the carpet, because I was this at such a low vibration, like such a low frequency, where I was overwhelmed. I felt submissive, right? Extreme people pleaser. Yeah. It's just, I've become a completely different person. And it's so hard to get people to see or understand that they too can get that for themselves if they have the right blueprint for it. It has to start with a belief, or at least a corner of their mind opening to the belief, or the vision that this can be happening for them as well. But yeah, if I were to, I'll have to pull out some pictures of myself from back then, because I look like a completely different person.
Do it.
Yeah, I have to dig them. So I hid them. I'm like, I'm not that person anymore. But yeah.
And Yeah, go ahead.
No, and I was going to say, and it's true when it comes to results in our business, right? People who are making tens of thousands of dollars a week or millions a month and so forth, we think, well, it's easy for them because they had this and this and that. But when in fact, and you and I know the stories of so many people who come from being completely broke, and we see them with our own eyes every day, right? Completely shifting to the other side, where now they don't even have to worry about money. It's just become a new way of life for them. So,
Oh, so good.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm even the success I'm having in my business is seen by a few as a quantum leap since May, and right now it is July, right? But at the same time, I can only already foresee how much further I'm going in the next couple of months. And then it will be even a bigger gap from where people knew me once to where they know me then. And that is so exciting. And it's even more exciting to be surrounded by other like-minded people who are making big declarations of wants for their life, because then, like, rising tides rise all ships. What's it called? Rising tides raise all ships.
That's good enough. Yes.
Okay, so what's next for everybody? What's next for us?
Well, you just said the words that we absolutely love, you and I. It's quantum leap, right? It's that, how did you quantum leap since May? And how did I quantum leap into this version of myself? And that's what we absolutely are passionate about sharing with as many entrepreneurs as possible, because it's enough of the grind. We've been programmed to think it's going to take years, to think that you have to work 25 hours a day, right? We've been so conditioned to believe that. That comes from the way we were raised, the school system, etc. Don't get me started on that. But we've been programmed. So it's time to reprogram ourselves. And I love the holistic approach of mind, body, soul, where we step into the version of ourselves that we intuitively, should we choose to connect to that part of us, and we, both you and I, help people connect to that, really what's their gut telling them, their intuition, their calling, that they know they're meant for more. How do we help them quantum leap into that?
And what I love is, because I'm known as the girl who says yes and figures it out, I'm even writing the book, and it's how to take massive imperfect action. Because so often we buy a course, we buy a mentorship, we join a mastermind, and then we leave the course or the mastermind with all these great ideas, but we fail to come back to our home environment and implement the things that are actually going to move the needle. And so for me, the complement to the mind, body, and soul is taking messy, imperfect action and putting one step in front of the other, knowing, again, the imposter syndrome you mentioned at the beginning, that none of us have it all figured out. But it's those of us who are leaning into failure instead of fearing failure. It's those of us who are leaning into being like doing one thing instead of feeling like we have to do all of the things. And so we created this Step Into Your Greatness masterclass.
Yes. Yes. I love what you said about, we take the course, we listen to a coach or a mentor, we go to a mastermind, and then we come back to our regular reality, and nothing moves or nothing happens. There's very little movement. So what we want to do is provide a container for people where they can bypass that familiar environment and finally overcome the delay, the procrastination, the imposter syndrome, and take massive imperfect action. That's what I love the most about you, is like, let's just go. We don't need to have it all figured out, right? And taking all those actions in a framework where you have a container of accountability, right? We're going to provide massive accountability and some discipline, but not the way you think, right? I used to hate that word discipline. Actually, we have put a very different spin on discipline so that now it feels more organic, holistic. It's actually something you're like, yeah, I want to do this. And then melting all of that together with some manifestation principles of vision, alignment, etc., and a little bit of movement, nothing crazy, but it all comes together to help you quantum leap into the person you need to become as an entrepreneur to take your business to the next level. And I'm super excited about that, to provide that container with you, because we're going to get people moving, getting people unstuck, and also preventing them from coming back to the familiar.
Coming back from where?
To the familiar, where,
yeah.
There's the pool of, well, the reason why people are stuck is because they're always being pulled back to what they've known instead of being pulled forward to what they must become.
Oh man, I'm loving, you haven't read 10x is better than 2x?
Well, you know what? Not yet.
You will love it. You will. I'm so grateful. I have an Audible subscription somehow from who knows how long ago. And these credits just kind of add up. And recently, a bunch of people started recommending a bunch of books. And so I
Wow.
grabbed them, and this is one of them. And I had already listened halfway through to Grant Cardone's 10x book. This 10x is better than 2x is so good. And the reason I ask you haven't read it is because I'm only in chapter 3, and so many of the principles that you believe in and teach on are kind of mirrored in that book. Like, we have, in order to quantum leap, in order to 10x, we have to be willing to let go of the familiar, which is why I'm saying that, or the 80% of what we're used to doing, and focus on the 20% of the things. And he gives story after story after story of real estate moguls, or like real estate agents who became these big Keller Williams branch managers, reporting into like the people at Keller Williams, had to almost give up that entire business in order to quantum leap. And they've studied person after person after person. And so it is like, how do you get more done without increasing the hours of your day? In fact, I recently reduced my work hours from 8 to 5, because I'm like, I can outwork the best of them. I can sit here, and I have, and work 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. in a very productive way. But that's not scalable or sustainable. And like, hello, like that's also crazy. So what would happen if I worked 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.? And we'll share more of that like in the next masterclass, because it has already quantum leaped my life. So I think people can like click the link below and sign up to join us. Any other thoughts, Val?
No, I was just going to say I'm all too familiar with the 16-hour days, and that got me nowhere. And I love that you framed it in that 11 to 3, because you're going to be hyper focused in that time frame. And the rest of the time, you're going to focus on the other things that most people don't do. That's going to help you hyper focus in those 4 hours. So,
right. I kept making excuses for myself as to why I couldn't work out. I have the whole Bowflex. I have from a few years ago, I got that Bowflex thing, right? I have those 2 weights. I have other weights. I have a bench. I have a bench right here. Okay. I have the outside. I had a gym membership for, like, I had all the things, yet all of the excuses.
yeah.
And I realized that I was the problem standing in my way, that until I was willing to radically shift something. And that is why for me, 8 to 9 was already blocked on my calendar, but I had scope creep. I would constantly book things anyway. And I was like, 8 to 10 doesn't feel long enough. And sure enough, I went on a walk with my neighbor, and I didn't take my phone. I didn't have my watch on. And I left the house at 9. And I was like, cool, I have 2 hours. I never once on that walk wondered what time it was, who was trying to reach me. Was I missing an email? Did I need to get back for a meeting? And I was so pleasantly surprised when I walked back in my door and it had been an hour. And that I still had an entire hour left to get ready and like eat something. And it's such a quantum leap in and of itself.
It is.
Right?
And
Yeah.
you're pretty much doing what athletes do with their recovery time, right? You're just giving yourself recovery time, which most entrepreneurs don't give themselves. So, and we
Permission
all
to
know that
recover.
recovery is essential for success. So,
Permission to recover. Oh my gosh, awesome. I can't wait to do this with you. Thank you so much for being here, Val.
yay.